This is 11.7a, volume of prisms and cylinders. So after moving from surface area, y'all are going to love volume. All right, so volume is the number of overlapping cubic units. So we have three dimensions here: length and width and height. So everything is gonna be like centimeters cubed. Well, Mayhew. Yards cubed. Length, width, height, three dimensions, cubed. Which also means because you're basically filling these with little bitty cubes. So like, how many cubes can I fit inside all of these prisms? Volume is super easy. It's the area of the base times the height of the figure. Straight up, that easy. So what you need to pay attention to is how to find the area of the base. So if it's a triangle, right, 1/2 base times height. If it's a rectangle, base times height. A pentagon or a hexagon would be apothem times perimeter divided by 2. Circle, pi squared. So that is what is going to change all of this. It's also seeing the base is kind of hard. So let's just choose. It doesn't matter which one is your base as long as you make a choice. So let's see. I'm going to make my base for this one what is actually on the bottom and the top, right? So there's my bottom. So I'm going to do the area of the base is 24 times 20. And then the height then is the distance between my two bases times my height. Y'all, this is just length times width times height. Pretty straight up for if it's a prism. You did that in 5th grade. 24 times 20 times 10 is 4,800 cubic centimeters. Do not forget my units. All right, so here my base is gonna be my two triangles. My height is gonna be this 5, is the distance between the two. So the area of the base is gonna be 10 times 6 divided by 2. And then my height is times 5. So 60 divided by 2 is 30. 30 times 5 is 150 cubic meters. All right, we've got a cylinder as a base. So here I've got circles as my base, and then my height is going to be 8. So to find the area of the base, it's going to be pi 4 squared, and then times 8, my height. So 16 times 8. I'm going to leave this in terms of pi for the easy ones. 128 pi meters cubed. Another challenging one because it's a triangle. These just get us, man. So the bases are my two triangles. My height is 3. The distance between the two triangles. All right, so area of the base, 1/2 base times height. Base is 11. Height is 4.3 divided by 2 times the height of the whole figure, 3. So 11 times 4.3 divided by 2 times 3 is 70.95, which is going to round to 71 cubic centimeters. The box below has a volume of 600 cubic kilometers. What is its height? So we are looking for the height. We know the volume is 600, and it's going to be the area of the base times that height. The area of the base is 12 times 5, or 60. Divide both sides by 60. That height is 10 kilometers. A prism has a height of 10 miles and a volume of 420 cubic miles. What's the area of the base? All right, so volume is 420, base times height. So 240 equals base times 10. Divide both sides by 10. The area of the base is 24 cubic, no, just miles. Square miles, because it's an area. Whew. And then if I knew what the prism was, like if I knew that it was a triangle, I could figure out what the height and the base would be. If I knew it was a rectangle, but it didn't tell us. An iPad takes up about 20 cubic centimeters of space. About how many iPads can fit in the box shown? Cool. So let's find the volume of this box. It's just going to be 10 by 12 by 8 is 960 cubic centimeters. But then an iPad takes about 20 cubic centimeters. So how many can I fit in there? We're going to do that 960 divided by 20. See how many of these guys can fit. So about 48 iPads can fit in that box. That seems small. Seems like a small box to be able to fit 48 iPads, but Miss Mayhew made a weird problem. That's okay. All right, volume of a cylinder. We got pi r squared times the height. 9 times 7 is 63 pi yards cubed. The volume of the cylinder shown is that mess. What is its height? All right, so the volume is 1077.6. So we would need to do pi r squared, so pi 7 squared times the height. So 7 squared is 49, so 1077.6 equals 49 pi times the height. I'm going to divide both sides by 49. 1077.6 divided by 49 gives me a hot mess. 21.99 equals pi times the height. Divide both sides by pi. I got a height that rounds to 7.0002. So my height is 7 feet. Cool. Hard, but cool. An aquarium in the shape of a rectangular prism has dimensions. All right, rectangular prism. If 1 cubic foot is that many gallons, how many gallons would it take to fill the... Okay, so let's find the volume first. $110 times 50 times 7, 38500. Okay, so that's cubic feet. So how many gallons are going to fit into that? So I'm going to divide by 1 cubic foot is that many gallons. 7.48. So it's going to take, that's a big aquarium. 5,147.1 gallons of water to fill that tank. Cool. A diagram of my pool is shown. I plan to fill it to the depth of 4 feet with a hose. Okay, so my height only needs to be 4 feet. That has a rate of 80 feet per hour flow rate. How many hours will it take to fill the pool? Okay, so we're only going to use 4 foot as my height because I'm only filling it to 4 feet. So let's do half of 27 is 13.5. Pi 13.5 squared times 4. 13.5 squared times 4. And I'm going to go ahead and change this to decimal form. So my volume is 229.02. All right, so that's how many cubic feet I need of water. The hose takes 80 cubic feet per hour. So I'm going to take this and divide by my 80 cubic feet, which means it is going to take 28.6 hours. Gosh, that's a day and change. It's a lot of time. Oops. Clicked on that instead of erasing it. Might be. Alrighty. Volume homework. Top ones are pretty simple. We get into a pretty fun little activity down here though. So we have a cylindrical volume. So this is a cylinder. Contains 330 milliliters, which is the same as 1 cubic centimeter. So you're going to have to figure out if the can's diameter is 6, what's the height? If the height is 10, what was the diameter? And then which 2 cans use the least aluminum? Y'all, using aluminum is just surface area. You can do it. And then there is no correct answer to number 11. I just want you to think about it. If you could choose any diameter, which dimensions would you use the least amount of aluminum. So like if you are Coke, you want to save money, you want to get, the least amount of aluminum.